Some people aren't alone by choice. They are alone because life taught them it was safer that way. Trauma-born loners don't announce themselves. They don't seek attention. They don't explain their distance, and that's what makes them misunderstood. Carl Jung believed trauma doesn't just wound the psyche, it reorganizes it. When connection becomes unpredictable, the mind adapts. Silence becomes protection. Isolation becomes regulation. Detachment becomes survival. The trauma-born loner learns early that relying on others costs too much. So the psyche turns inward, not out of arrogance but necessity. This is where most people break, because solitude forces confrontation. With memories, with fear, with the shadow. Jung called the shadow everything the mind had to bury to survive, and in isolation, there is nowhere to hide from it. This is why only a small percentage survive this path. Most people escape loneliness through distraction, noise, relationships, validation, but the trauma-born loner sits with the discomfort. The nights are long, the thoughts are sharp, the silence is loud. This is where collapse happens or transformation. Those who survive begin to integrate. They stop running from the shadow and start understanding it. Pain becomes information. Fear becomes awareness. Solitude becomes clarity. Something subtle shifts. They no longer crave belonging. They no longer fear rejection. They no longer chase attachment to feel real. Not because they're cold, but because they're integrated. Stoic psychology calls this emotional sovereignty. Trauma psychology calls it post-traumatic growth. Jung would call it individuation, the rare process of becoming whole without external approval. But this level of self-possession unsettles others. Because trauma-born loners can't be manipulated through guilt. They can't be controlled through abandonment threats. They can't be hooked through emotional chaos. They've already faced what most people avoid. And that's why they must be handled carefully. Not because they are dangerous, but because they are no longer dependent. Only a small percentage make it through isolation without losing themselves. Those who do don't need to be loud. Their presence is enough. Because when someone has survived their own darkness, nothing superficial can touch them again.